Look, if all you do when you're not sitting is running, you have tight hips, and tight hips, my friend, are a problem. Coach Nate here from the Run Experience. When we have tight hips, we can't squat very deep, right? We can't lunge very well out the back. We don't have incredible range of motion to open up the stride, and that tends to collapsing hips with the stride, and it tends to happen with an overstriding, which can lead to a little bit of braking. It's like running with the parking brake on. It's not fast. And it can also lead to a lot of injuries, not only in around the hip and the low back area, but as well as the knee. So today I'm going to dive into my 10+ years of strength and conditioning coaching, working alongside some incredible PTs to share with you a great hip test to see how tight your hips are right now, as well as 2 progressions to improve it. These all take just a couple minutes a day. They can really unlock your stride and really help your running. So let's go into test number 1. To be good runners, we need to have range of motion beyond just what we need in the running motion, right? That running motion is pretty mild. It doesn't require that much. But what happens is that when we lose our hips, because we're not doing a lot of extra challenge to it, it impacts our range of motion when we run, our mechanics, and that's where we get into trouble. So we're gonna test this with this 90-90 hip position. I'm gonna get here on my butt. I'm gonna slide my right foot forward. So I've got a nice 90-degree angle at this knee, and then this leg is gonna kick back, so I've got a nice 90-degree angle here. And what I'm simultaneously testing is hip range of motion on both sides. Again, this is more range of motion than I need for my normal running, but this is the sign of healthy hips. If I have this much function, it means that I can handle most of what running's throwing at me without dropping or losing my mechanics. And if I can't get into these positions, it's gonna show up in my run mechanics in some way. My hips are gonna collapse a lot. I'm not gonna have that stride length out the back. I'm gonna start to fall apart. So this is why this is important. I wanna get nice and upright here. And I can notice that my right side's a little stiff, so I notice that I want to kind of fall over and lean to the side with my hand here, but just pushing up a little bit more is like, ooh, I get a little bit more of a stretch. Specifically, this hip is in a degree of flexion and external rotation. I need that range of motion in the hip. This side's the opposite. It's in a little bit of extension and internal rotation. I really need both. Once you test one side, hey, one side's not always going to be the same as the other. Can I go over here, test the other side? Same thing. So boom, test number 1, 90-90. Can I get in these positions? If not, can I spend a little time there? And hey, if you like this type of coaching, check out the Daily Run app, because we have video guided exercises just like this added into our run programs. You can click the link below in the description. But on to test number 2. All right, test number 2 involves taking this position and adding a little bit of movement and fluidity to it, because it's not just our ability to cram ourselves into a position. Full ownership means that we can move in and out of it with some level of fluidity and grace. And if you can do this, that translates so well to your running. So test number 2 is our 90-90 hip switch. I'm gonna start in this nice upright position, 90-degree, 90-degree. I'm gonna press this knee and this toe into the ground. I'm gonna start to lift this leg up. And notice, as soon as I start to lift, this knee wants to come up off the ground. Keep this down as long as you can. Lift, lift, lift. Both toes onto the ground, and then boom, work my way over to the other side. And if you're a little stiff, this knee might come in, or that foot might try to come in, try to keep those degrees at 90-90, nice and upright. Again, you might want to fall out of it. That's okay. Try to bring yourself back up. Push this knee, this foot into the ground, lift this knee on this side, lift, 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 shift over, whoo, keeping those toes to the ground, and boom, back to this side as well. Try to get 10 switches back and forth. Great to do pre-run, or if you need a little bit more warm-up post-run, but to add this in. And if you're not adding this type of movement prep into your running, like your run program doesn't have it, you are missing out. And again, download the Daily Run app, because we have this type of movement prep in all of our workouts. It's pretty awesome. Now, I've saved the best for last. We've got one more level of hip range of motion for ultimate running mechanics. Let's see what you got. Now, if you've been keeping up so far, well, I'm about to throw the gauntlet down. If you haven't been keeping up so far, hey, this is still a fun one to reach for and to try. Instead of our 90-90, what we're gonna go for is extend this back leg for even more extension out this back, roll ourselves in to a full-on pigeon position. And this pigeon position is like that 90-90, but it just requires even more range, right? Even more flexion and external rotation in this hip, more extension out the back. And again, can I own this position, but can I switch this position? And can I switch this position without using my hands? So I'm gonna kick this leg up, this leg back, into this hip position right here. Can I switch this leg up? Can I kick this leg back? Switch to this position right here. Again, kind of a fun thing to do. A great way to warm up, not only show that you've got ownership of things and that range of motion, but you can move and groove back and forth. What level are you stuck at? What level were you able to hit? Let me know down below. I've talked a few times about internal and external rotation of the hip, how important that is for your running mechanics. Holly goes into it way more in this video. You should definitely watch it next because it talks really of what this is. We worked on it together and how it applies specifically to your running. So go check that video out. Download our daily run app if you haven't already. We got great stuff in there. Keep on earning those miles, working on those hips. I'm gonna film and do the same. I'll see you in the next video.